Today, I want to try and help you make better MVPs. I want to try and help you make your MVPs more successful. So at my breakout session, I'm going to share with you some MVP war stories that will hopefully help you craft them even better than you are currently, because I think they're so important. My story with MVPs goes way back. I've been starting companies all my life, ever since I was 12 years old. At first, I started them serially, and then in 1996, when we started Idea Lab, I began doing them in parallel. And it was just because I had so many ideas I wanted to do that I wanted to find a way to build an organization to do multiple things all at the same time. And since then, we've started more than 100 companies, 130 companies now, with more than 500 MVPs across them. Many of them that led to failure, companies that we didn't start, many of them that led to success. Now, out of these 130 companies, we had 45 successful IPOs and acquisitions. We have 35 operating companies right now. We have 50 failures. 7 of those 45 companies did turn out to be more than billion-dollar companies. We're very proud of those. And it was a result of being really diligent about the MVP process. So in my breakout session later today, I'll share my top MVP stories, including, like I said, some that worked out and some that didn't work out, so that some of those lessons might help you craft yours a little bit better. But right now, quickly, I'll share with you one of our MVP stories. You have to jump back to 1998 and try and remember what things were like then. It was 1998. I live in Pasadena. I went down to the Glendale Auto Mall to buy a car, and I got the classic runaround. We don't have that car in stock, we don't have that color, let me check the computer, all the fake checking to try and get me to buy a car that was actually on the lot as opposed to the one I wanted. I was so frustrated with the process, I said, I just want to go online. I would like to put down a $1,000 deposit on the car I want, have them deliver in a flatbed truck to my house, and I'll pay the balance, or I'll take out a loan for the balance. Wouldn't people want that? And I talked to everybody I could at the company, and everybody said there's no way other people will do that. People are scared to put their credit cards online. Again, remember back, Amazon was actually, I think, just selling books and CDs at that point. People were still afraid to buy at Amazon. But I really thought that there were other people who would want to do that. And the real question was, were there enough? I mean, I knew there was me. Maybe there'd be one other, but would there be a lot of others? So we decided to do our MVP test. By the way, I didn't even know the term MVP back then. We were doing the minimum thing we could do, mostly the whole lean startup process for this. We didn't know that term yet either. We had no money, so we had to do it in a lean process. So we basically said, we'll give this a 90-day experiment. Let's just try and get a website up and see if anybody else wants to do this. So I hired someone who would become CEO of this effort if we actually decided to go forward with it, and said, get to work, we'll give you the resources, let's just go do this 90-day test. So the first thing he did, we started checking with legal about reselling cars and getting legal approval for the corporation, corporate formation, logos, trademarks, all that. And when I met with him a few weeks in, I said, forget that, we don't even need to do any of that. We might not even go forward with this idea. I said, okay, I'll skip that. Then the next time I met with him in 2 weeks, he was talking for Source and Supply. He was talking to Honda and Ford and Acura to try and find out how we get the cars if people bought the cars. When I met with him, I said, forget that too. No one might even buy a car. And the next time I met with him, he was showing me how he was building the configurator so people could use the drop-downs to choose the options they wanted on the car. And I said, don't even do that. Again, I didn't know the term Wizard of Oz MVP, but I said, just put a field in where someone could type in the car they want. Someone will be sitting behind the curtain, taking that, and going down to the Monrovia Auto Mall and just buying the car. We're going to lose money on each car, if anybody even wants one, and we'll deliver it to their house. So don't even worry about an illegal configuration. We'll call the person on the phone if that's actually a problem. We just want to see if someone will put $1,000 on their credit card in. We don't even need to run their credit card. We just need to see, a little bit like the Social Security number experiment, just will they put it in? We don't even have the method to accept credit cards yet, because we don't have a merchant account. So I convinced them, just put the site live. We're in day 80 of our 90-day test, just put the site live. And I remember it was a Thursday night, I came back on Friday morning, and I said, well, how did it work? Did anything happen? We didn't have Google Analytics, Google didn't exist. We didn't have any of the analytics to actually watch what happened. I just said, what happened? He said, we sold 4 cars last night. I said, hurry up and turn the site off. But 4 people had come and put in $1,000 on a credit card, which we didn't run, but who had bought cars. We actually went down to the Monrovia Auto Mall, bought those 4 separate cars, lost about $2,500 on each, delivered the cars, made the whole fake customer experience, but we had gotten the data we needed to learn, which is people actually will do this, and enough of them will, with no advertising, we had something. We then formed the company. We took the site down. We formed the company. It took us probably 6 months to then build out the thing, start getting the relationships, doing all of that. Turned out that company went public. Went to more than $1 billion valuation, very, very successful outcome. And that experiment was so valuable to us in teaching us really figure out the minimum thing you have to do. And it wasn't just minimum viable product. It actually has to be minimum awesome product. It has to be something so awesome that actually people open their wallet or put in their social security number or do something, because you're trying to get someone to move against their human resistance, which is so hard. That's what you want to find out. So that's one story. I have many, many more. In my breakout session this afternoon, I'll be sharing others and having Q&A so I can answer lots of questions for you. Thank you very much. It's been a great audience.